man. Let me go on the YouTube community app before we, because I can't believe it. You're always here. You're always here. You're always here. There you go. With great power comes great responsibility, my friend. What's the time on the clock? Bro, we've spent an hour just talking about general Arsenal thoughts. So what we're gonna do is actually go and see what the tabloids are saying. Big up you lot, man. Big up you lot, because time's flying. Without you lot, I'd be dead. Transfer news. Let's leave it at that. Well, what we got to do is actually caps transfer news. Happy Friday, folks. Don't forget mods, because I'm modding a lot of you and you're not making sure we're hitting the like button. There's 400 people somehow, some way. We've got 155 likes. Must can get 200 or aggressively close. But yeah, let me share my screen, man. What's wrong with a Brexit 11? Listen, if you could get 100 Englishmen, Brazilian man, Scottish man, Somali man, and they win Arsenal trophies, I don't really care where you're from. But let's be honest, that comment is not being said in good faith. And also, it don't make sense, because if I think Timbers should start, Magalhaes should start, Saliba should start, Raya should start, what country are they from? Because this ain't Football Manager where you can change their nationality. I don't know what's going on there, but yeah, man, let's get into this, people. As you would have seen yesterday, apparently record Portugal, no clue on the credibility. I ain't no journalist. Arsenal have submitted their first official bid for Victor Gyokeres, 55 million euros plus 10 million euros in add-ons. The offer was made during a meeting yesterday. Sporting are expected to reject it. Apparently, Victor Gyokeres' agent is set to fly out for talks with Arsenal as his relationships with Sporting Lisbon continue to break down. It's getting nasty and ugly, isn't it? You would have seen he put on his social media, Gyokeres did fire back after you saw the Sporting Lisbon guy have a lot of things to say. There's a lot of talk at the moment. Most of it is false. I will speak when the time is right. And this is, I'm sure I can't speak. I'm not a sporting fan. I'm not a Portuguese football expert, but the hottest loves have the coldest ends. And I'd imagine he's a Portuguese league legend. He's a sporting legend. The fans adore him. The manager probably likes him, all of that. But look how it started and how it ended. Look how Alexis started with us. Look how it ended. Look at my ex, and now, no, I'm joking. I'm definitely not joking with that. But I thought, you know what, Football Mirror Society, I'm definitely cold end. But Sporting won't succumb to blackmail and insults. Again, I have gone over this millions of times. I'm sure you've gone over it. I don't want to go over it again, people. But long story short, the Sporting Lisbon president did say, I never promised nobody leaving for nothing. What's being claimed, you're not going to leave for pennies, and your agent is playing games. So it's turning very sour. And apparently, again, pinch of salt with all of this. Official sporting sources say there has not yet been any formal proposal for Gyokeres, but rather an initial approach. Again, a follow-up tweet, we'll read that in a sec, but Arsenal have already made its first offer to Sporting for Gyokeres. The Gunners and the Lions met in Menorca and put 55 million euros on the table plus 10 million euros for objectives. The follow-up tweet to that has said, this bid has since been rejected, however, can be raised. The figures presented by the Londoners were below the 60 million plus 10 million euros. The Lions received the offer this morning and rejected Arsenal's first offer, which could be raised in the coming days, adding frustration to the fans. But when is the first offer really expected? Apparently, Romano is said to have said, people on Gyokeres, the first thing to do is clarify the exit from Sporting after trouble with the president. Both Arsenal and Man United remain keen and are in contact with his camp. Man United, who are being linked with Hugo Ekitike. So yeah, they're all saying the same things, people. The offer was presented yesterday at a meeting that took place in Menorca, Spain. I can't pronounce that. Allow me, people. I tried. And which brought together the Gunners sporting director, Andrea Berta, a lawyer for the London club, and Sporting's general director of football, Bernardo Pellegrino, representing the green and white, which is obviously Sporting. That was never going to be enough for Sporting. On Wednesday, the club president spoke to the media. We know he rubbish claims. I must admit, I am quite tired of hearing about Gyokeres. I'll be brutally honest. It's getting boring now. And, well, not just him, several. 180 likes. Let's keep going, people. Question. If they refuse the offer, I'd walk. He's not worth more. I hear it. And on one hand, with my fan cap on, bro, like, you know how much they want. Make them an offer they can't refuse. But then again, this is business. You never really offer what you're prepared to pay first time. We see this all the time. Where Victor Gyokeres thinks he'll be playing next season after Arsenal talks. Apparently, TBR Football can exclusively reveal where Victor Gyokeres thinks he'll be playing next season. Amid links with Arsenal United, we all know he's expected to leave. He's garnering a lot of interest. Arsenal United have been linked. Apparently, Gyokeres and Man United remain in contact. But it's the Gunners who are reportedly leading the race to sign him. Arsenal reportedly tabled a bid. The offer fell short. Apparently, according to Graham Bailey, people, Conversations are ongoing with Gyokeres' camp and Sporting. A set figure on his sale price is not agreed, but we are told that the expectation now is that Sporting want a deal worth 68 million in brackets 80 million, although much will depend on guarantees. It's understood the players made it clear to Sporting that they want to know the price so they can confirm the overall situation to his suitors. This includes both Arsenal and Man United, who are in constant contact, although neither side has yet approached Sporting. So neither side has approached Sporting, but apparently a bid's been made. I guess we'll never know the truth, people. But where do you lot think? Do you think a bid's actually been made? Who knows? It's understood. Well, yeah, it's understood the players made it clear to Sporting, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Indeed, we are told there are other Premier League sides who are keeping close tabs on the player situation as well. Every now and again, he's linked with Liverpool, you know, and with them getting Verts over the line, I'm sure they're going to press the acceleration on Gyokeres, and then you never know, depending on what happens with Luis Diaz and Darwin Núñez. Apparently, Bailey believes that while the player is convinced he'll play in the Premier League next season, the move could drag on until July. As per him, the players' reps are working hard, but it could be July until something is agreed. Speaking to sources, Gyokeres is convinced that he's moving this summer and he believes he'll be in England. Not that he has ruled out other countries, it's just where he believes he'll be playing. He did make it clear from the start that a deal with Saudi Arabia's Pro League was not a consideration, despite them making an approach this month. Arsenal and United are in constant contact. The lines of communication with those two clubs has been ongoing for months. The players' reps are working hard on his future, but there's no deadline here. It could be this month, but likely July, I'm told, before something is agreed. But there's no panic. They're calm. With both Man United and Arsenal keen on signing the player, it remains to be seen which club he will join, but it looks certain that he'll be playing in the Premier League next season. Well, he actually didn't do the job of, what was said. Well, you did, you did say we playing in the Prem, but it was a bit misleading there. Apparently, we're preparing a new offer worth 70 million euros, people. Whether you lot believe this or not, I don't know. We're expected to raise our offer. We're said to be preparing an offer which would have a higher guaranteed amount than the original 55 million euros and reach over 70 million euros when bonuses are taken into account. Sporting are said to have a good relationship with Arsenal and are ready for a new round of negotiations. United remain interested but only want to pay 60 million euros plus 10 million that the player camp feels was the level agreed. So I guess we'll never know. They're just bare whispers. Apparently, we've made a major breakthrough in the Benjamin Sesko transfer saga and are better placed than ever to sign the RB Leipzig striker. He's been increasingly close to the Gunners in recent weeks, but negotiations over a transfer fee had proven to be tricky. Sources close to the player have disclosed to Football Transfers that there's been significant progress regarding the transfer fee and structure of the agreement between Arsenal and Leipzig. An official bid from Arsenal is therefore expected earlier next week. Top officials from the Bundesliga side were in London again on Thursday, which would have been yesterday, for further talks on Sesko in what was their second visit to the UK capital in a matter of days. While it isn't clear the size of the bid that Arsenal are prepared to make, what has been disclosed is that Mikel Arteta's side are expected to be closer to 100 million euros than 80 million euros with their offer. This is largely due to the payment being spread over a long time frame than Leipzig had initially wanted, which kind of correlates with the Zuba-Mendy stuff. Arsenal still to agree Sesko's salary. Personal terms have not been finalized, but there are no major issues forecast with this issue. Despite this, his wages are still being discussed. The size of his salary is likely to be tied to Arsenal's internal financial planning, particularly around upcoming contract extensions for current players. It's been suggested the Gunners may want to revisit Sesko's wages in an upgraded contract in the medium term. I mean, he's 22. You'd hope he signs a 4 or 5 year deal. If he does what's projected, you would imagine he signs improved terms. It's a bit like, obviously, when you get away from the typical rumours, in my opinion, Gabriel Magalhaes, Trossard, Partey, Miles Lewis-Skelly, Wanyeri, Saka, them kind of guys, you'd be surprised if Timber isn't offered some level of improved terms, for example. And we've seen when Odegaard was in form and Martinelli was in form and a couple of the guys, they got that. So it is what it is. Arsenal have drawn up a plan C after becoming frustrated with the transfer saga surrounding Gyokeres and Sesko. I mean, we should have had that on the table regardless. What is this plan C? Because I know I'm going to read the same things again and again. What is it? Why? Big up Joe Black. Why is Joe Black on the Sun? Fair play. He is an Arsenal scout. Oh, it's talking about Hugo Ekitike. Sunsport understands the frustration from the camps of Gyokeres and Sesko is born from the fact that they are competing against each other to join Arsenal, knowing the North Londoners can only sign one of them. That's true. But if you're Gyokeres, you're talking to Arsenal, Man United, and elsewhere. If you're Sesko, I don't know. You might be talking to others. Everyone's playing the same game, mate. Apparently, Hugo Ekitike is another one for us. Apparently, Julian Alvarez's name has come up in discussions. Yeah, right. I mean, it probably has, but it's a myth, if I'm honest with you. So, yeah. Bilbao Williams response. Bilbao are calm over the future of Williams, who's wanted by Arsenal and Arteta. Okay, the player has a contract until 2027. We all know about his release clause. And if you believe rumours this week, it seems like Bayern Munich are the front runners to get him. And apparently Bilbao are still trying to convince him with the carrot of the Champions League and obviously a new salary increase. And I guess I'm looking for a new contract. Fabio Vieira is on loan at Porto still and will be playing in the Club World Cup. You'd imagine his days are numbered. Porto have been left resigned to the fact that they'll be unable to sign Fabio Vieira permanently this summer, having had him on loan last term. Does he go on loan again? Porto would love to bring him back permanently. He'll be staying beyond the end of the regular season. There's no buy option. The loan fee to lure Vieira away from Arsenal was believed to be around 750k, with another 600k penalty fee if the player did not play more than half of Porto's games this season. You know what? World Cup year, take on his wages, let him go. If you can flog him permanently, great. Let him stay over there, man. Put yourself in the shop window. Arsenal would need to be convinced to let Vieira leave. I'm no clue on his contract. He's one that I could see staying at the club. We've gone over the prepared new deal. If Rodrigo could shun interest from Arsenal and other Premier League sides to remain with Real Madrid this summer after reports in Spain suggested the Brazilian is happy at the club now. That's probably because he has to have had some discussion or positive encouragement from Xabi Alonso that he will play. So we're going to have to move, whether it is Rafael, Nico Williams, Jamie Gittins, Rodrigo, whatever have you. You're going to have to sign someone else. Gabriel Magalhaes has called him a phenom and said he's phenomenal and kind of talked up his chances. It was quite an interesting kind of podcast with Gabriel Magalhaes. Apparently, we're looking at Nusa, who is subject of interest from Arsenal Football Club. Apparently, he's been on the radar of Mikel Arteta's side for 18 months, but doubts have been expressed over his wage demands. There are no such... Who's that about? Oh, Nico. There are no such concerns over Nusa, who at 20 is still in the early stage of his career. It's claimed that a string of other clubs are looking at the former Club Brugge youngster. We was linked with him when he was there, including Chelsea, Newcastle, Villa, Everton, and Napoli. I mean, Leipzig have struggled, innit? Like, they're probably going to let Xavi Simons go. Sesko's gone. Maybe this guy's gone as well, people. I don't know. Are you like having Nusa? I'm not too sure. Good player, good fundamentals, good foundation, but we're kind of in win now mode. We know we're set to miss out on Rodrigo. There's been lots of speculation over Rodrigo. He was unhappy with his lack of playing time under Carlo Ancelotti last season, but it does seem that he's now content at Madrid. He's happy to stay and looking forward to playing under the management of Xavi Alonso. There have been links with Arsenal, but as things stand, the player is happy to stay at Madrid. He wants to stay and fight for his place in the team next season. If he was to leave Real Madrid, he's going to have a huge price tag on his head and huge wages as well, which will make it a difficult proposition for some clubs. I fully expect Rodrigo to stay at Madrid. Gabriel Magalhaes has said, he's already ahead of schedule. We welcome him back. It is Partey's birthday. Nico Williams is a top target for Bayern Munich and apparently Arsenal as well. Apparently Bayern have met his camp twice. I did cover this yesterday, but apparently AC Milan have met with Arsenal over deals for Jakub Kiwior and Zinchenko. They conceded more than 40 goals last season. How's Zinchenko going to stop that? I mean, I want to keep you Kiwior, but I understand if you want to leave. Zinny, I think you're punching going AC Milan, but fair enough. On the topic of AC Milan, they want 100 million euros for Rafael. I mean, if Kiwior says he wants to cut and Zinny wants to go there, ask AC Milan how much they value both players individually, combine the fee, knock that off. Let's barter, man. Let's barter. Again, apparently Nico Williams has been given permission to speak to Bayern Munich after they met his clause. To be fair, him and Elise is a good partnership. They're now going strong, if this loads, to sign in people. He still has interest from Arsenal and Chelsea. On the topic of those two London clubs, Romano has said we have called to be informed of Ajax's situation with Gerald Hato. Long story short, we're still linked with Sesko, Watkins and Gyokeres. Nothing's going to be decided, but we aim to decide something this or next week, says Ornstein, and we're looking in a 9 position. So it was a whole bunch of nothing. Team news and ticks on Hato did say, people, it's more than phone calls to understand the situation. As we know, Andrea Berta works on multiple deals at a time. When Arsenal were talking to Dean Howson, they were also talking to Joel Hato in his camp. At the moment, it's not clear on how the situation will play out. The player's camp is unsure he'll get minutes he needs and is mulling over the opportunity. To be fair, there's nothing wrong with staying at Ajax for one more year. You're only 19 and you've played over 100 times and captained them. This is complicated by Chelsea being interested, and there will likely be more minutes available for him there. At left back, probably, or they could play 2 left-footed centre halves, but generally, you should believe he could do something there. What's this? We've gone over Gyokeres, gone over Nusa, gone over Rodrigo and Nico Williams. Still linked with Hugo Ekitike. It says Arsenal, Liverpool, and Chelsea are there, but United have also entered that. Fabio Vieira set to return to the Emirates. I could see you just being on the bench next year. Arsenal's negotiations with Leipzig over a move for Sesko have hit a roadblock. The German club are demanding the release clause of 65 million. Arsenal will move on to other targets if they cannot agree a deal by June the 5th. So that's Sunday. Okay. Let's see. Forget that. Arsenal win battle for Martin Zubimendi as Real Madrid shift focus. I mean, if you care about that at this moment in time. João Pedro, apparently Arsenal, Chelsea give him transfer boost in pursuit of Liverpool linked forward. I don't buy any of this. Apparently, João Pedro said he wants to go. He's still linked with Newcastle. Apparently, he wants to live in London. So that adds fuel to the fire where Arsenal and Chelsea are concerned, folks. And Buemo, a player I liked, seemed like he was going Man United. With Thomas Frank being confirmed as Spurs gaffer, apparently they've held initial discussions over a signing of Mbuemo. I mean, they beat you in the Europa League final, which is an L, but if they beat you off the field, it's crazy. Apparently, Barca have just paid Garcia's 25 million euros release clause. There's a one mod in this who loves Jonathan David. Apparently, if Galatasaray cannot complete the transfer of Victor Osimhen, I want Gyokeres in it, they'll make an official offer to Jonathan David. Is anything new here? Man said a Moroccan team going for Cristiano Ronaldo. Fair play. Spare thought for Bournemouth, man. Losing several players. They might even lose Justin Kluivert to Leverkusen. That's a good move. We'd all love Musiala, but that's dream chasing. Apparently, United have resumed discussions with Osimhen, who's still demanding a 12 million a year salary. I mean, if he drops those demands, surely we can get involved, man. Surely. But that ends the transfer section. Let's get back into what you lot are saying, folks. And let's also